If you are newly in business, you're in your first couple years and you want to treat your business like it's already bigger than it is, like that's always what I've tried to do, right? If you have 5 clients, act like you have 10. If you have 10 clients, act like you have 100. Always be thinking into the next iteration of your business and what needs to change. What would change if it were bigger, and then start making those changes now. That's actually some of the best business advice that I can give you, even though it's a little bit cryptic. So the first few years in my business, everything was really a mess, and that was fine. And that I still made tons of money. So if you feel like your business is a mess, then don't worry about it. Like that's maybe a little bit controversial business advice because I've had people try and shame me about my business's mess. I've had consultants come in or interviewed OBMs who have commented on certain things that are a mess. And I don't know if it was just them trying to get me to hire them. But when I got the amazing operations manager that I have now, she came in and said, Jenna, everything will always feel like it can be tidier. Everything will always feel like it can be more organized. That's what this is about. You never look at the back end of your business and go, yes, everything is perfect. Even think of it like a linen cabinet, right? Do you guys still say linen cabinet? I pride myself on my closet in the hallway that has all the house linens in it because I feel like that's one of those things that when you don't have it, when you're living in bachelor apartments and you're in college and you're living with your first boyfriend in a tiny apartment in Toronto and that sort of thing, you never have enough space for a linen closet. It is such a luxury. So as soon as we moved into our house and I had a closet full of towels and sheets and maybe an extra pillow, that became my pride. And I'm the only one that's allowed to organize it because I'm the only one that can do it right. And it's like a whole thing. So even though sometimes the linen cabinet is perfect and all the linens are folded the right way and they're all organized and the pillowcases are with their matching sets and your extra duvet case is perfectly folded and not scrunched up into a ball. It's not going to stay like that because you use the closet. Things are always coming and going. New things are getting added. It's an impossible standard to think that it's going to stay tidy always. And if I sound a little bit intense about this closet thing, it's because I started by talking about those people that shamed my business. So I think I'm taking it out on the closet a little bit. I'm taking it out on this recording now. Anyway, it's allowed to be messy, but if there's a couple things that I can share with you that you can start organizing right now so that when you inevitably grow into a huge giant business, because you are going to, this is going to work. It is going to work. More clients are coming, more money is coming, more team is coming. It's all in the works, my love. Okay. So if I could tell you a couple things to organize now, here's what I've learned. I had never even heard of these words before, but it's naming modalities. If you've ever heard of this, great. You're farther ahead than me. Naming modalities. So I name stuff. Like if you looked at my Google Drive, my folders would be called like legal stuff or contracts or ideas I have. like the names of my folders are all kind of silly and self-explanatory. Same in my email marketing software. I might have a tag called people I met at Expo or people who downloaded freebie or product possibly, like for people that I thought might have a product-based business instead of a service. So anyway, what a naming modality is to not do that. So instead of just to randomly make up names or make up names that are sentences describing what the folder or the document or the product or the tag or the sequence or whatever is, everything is titled in the same way. And I had one person working with me at one point who introduced naming modalities to me, and I did not jump on it right away because the way that she wrote it, I found really scary. So she would do everything in capitals. There were codes that I didn't understand and underscores. And so I really pushed back on this whole idea for an additional year. And I wasn't organizing things because the way that these naming modalities were written, it was scary and it made it so that I couldn't find anything ever. But my new ops person has naming modalities that were a lot more intuitive to me. And then I learned they don't need to be codes. They don't need to be scary. They can still be relatively self-explanatory. They just all align. So for instance, all of the email sequences I have in Kit. If it's an opt-in sequence, it says in square brackets, whatever those are called, I'm sure they have a name, opt-in, then the name of the opt-in. If the tag is tagging someone because they've purchased any of my products, it would say paid dash name of product, paid dash name of other product, etc. So I don't know if you're a really visual learner like me, then that was probably kind of hard to understand just from hearing me say it, but give it a Google, organize your folders, assume you're going to stay in business for many years, assume you're going to make lots of money and have lots of people and lots of products come through, and start getting that stuff organized early. I'm not saying spend thousands of dollars or weeks on it, just, a little bit more Virgo energy than I initially gave to anything that I named ever. Next up, know your numbers. Know your numbers. I am a huge fan of the Amy Porterfield podcast and Amy Porterfield, and she talks about this a lot, know your numbers. And basically you want to know what's selling, what the conversion rates on different pages are. If you have a freebie or an opt-in or a lead magnet, that's all the same thing, just called different names, by the way. You want to know the conversion rate of the people that are opting into it. And from there, how many of those people are buying from you? Stuff like that. Numbers, right? Stats. And I had heard her say this a million times, and I thought I knew the rule, but man, sometimes us multi-passionate, creative generator personality types, if anything is boring, like naming modalities or knowing your numbers, we end up avoiding it, right? Are you the same? So because I didn't have a regular thing in my calendar that says every 2 weeks, check all these numbers, or every 1 month, check all these numbers, I didn't. And I started making assumptions about my business, not based on data. And I can't even express enough that I have been taught all of this a million times. One of my old coaches used to always say data over drama, but you don't think you're the drama. You don't think it's me, I'm the problem, it's me. We don't think that way. We don't believe we're the drama when we're being the drama. So I was running my business on vibes, not realizing what my most successful products were. And oh, Nelly, was I ever wrong about what was going on in my business? Let me give you an example. In June, my husband ran up a report of how many people had bought each and every one of the products inside my business. And I have this product called Strategic Stories, the 5-day Instagram challenge. It's so fun. It's this mini course, takes you about 10 minutes a day to watch for 1 week, and it tells you exactly what to post. You learn why stories get engagement and how to make your stories get more views. And then by the end of the week, there's a bonus day so that once you've spent all week following the challenge and nurturing people in your stories, then you get to sell to them. And people have had crazy results from this. Some people use it every single week. They've told me they use it as a framework for their stories moving forward. People have told me they get sales from it. People have told me they have more engagement than ever before on it. So it's a beautiful little product, and it's only $10. And I often add it as like a bump offer or a tripwire, or like I'll scatter it about, but it's 2025 in June, 6 months into 2025. I had not actively promoted Strategic Stories to my knowledge at all. Maybe a couple Instagram stories, but if you're looking into me, chances are you're going to come upon it at some point. You might listen to a podcast episode, an old post, something like that, or see it as a tripwire. Anyway, at that point, we had sold 405 Strategic Stories programs in 2025. It was my most popular product. Over 400 people had bought this without me promoting it. And that's like, I don't know, is that a flex? I'm really just kind of embarrassed that I had no idea. So now I'm starting to talk about it more because I'm like, oh my goodness, how did I not notice? People love this. It's working for them. It's easy. Sometimes I just picture a room of that many people, like picture a room of 400 people. Oh my goodness. Actually, last year I spoke at an event and there were 400 people in the room. So I can very clearly picture that. And I didn't even know that entire room was sitting there waiting for me. That entire room existed when I didn't know it. So anyway, actually, it will be below this episode. If you want to hop into Strategic Stories and post every day for a week, know exactly what to do in your stories and possibly make some money off of it, it's down there waiting for you. Know your numbers. Here's another one, and I'm in Canada and I don't know the rules where you are, but I do wish I had done the boring work of incorporating my business sooner. I waited to incorporate my business. We had a couple really big sales months when I was still a sole proprietor, and it ended up costing me a lot of money. Can't go back. Not upset about it. It is what it is. I'm happy to pay my taxes to support my community and support my country, and that is actually true. But it wasn't the savviest decision I've ever made. It was far from it. So I thought that incorporating was going to be this scary process. And so I avoided it. And in the early days of my business, I didn't have the belief that I'm trying to shove into your brain right now about how big your business can possibly get, or maybe it's already huge and it's going to get even huger, right? I think I just wasn't thinking that way. And so I didn't do it. And then I had to scramble to do it when dollar bills were being thrown at me. So there you have it. 3 things you can do right now to treat your business like it is bigger than it is and assume success is imminent. And hey, if these 3 things are things you've already done or are already super aware of, I still would like to leave you with the nugget of the concept. If you had 100 more people sign up to work with you next month than you were expecting, what would need to change to make that work? What would you need to track? What would you need? Start preparing for that future. And then when it arrives on your doorstep, you won't nearly be as stressed. Plus, you'll be laying the groundwork to get there. So, my business advice for you today, have a good one, and I'll see you in the next episode.